It's time to talk business with our partners 2 Degrees. Halter is a Kiwi company, basically makes cow collars, and early this morning, they had a capital raise, which means we get an insight into what this Kiwi company is valued at. Let's hear from BusinessDesk. Garth Bray is with me this morning. Garth, good morning.
Good morning, Ryan.
Good to see you. So what do we know about what the valuation of Halter might be?
Well, they are saying that based on a successful capital raise, $165 million, 100 million US, that they are now worth $1 billion US, and that makes them a unicorn, which is one of those little great bits of jargon for business that talks about a private startup that's worth more than $1 billion. And this is, you know, the ultimate aim of everyone that's ever cooking up an idea in their basement or working for Peter Beck at Rocket Lab and reckoning they can do it better. And so that's pretty big news for Halter, which, as you say, makes effectively like Fitbits for cows, but they're a little bit more sophisticated than that. They tell me it's also a way of doing like virtual fencing around the farm, effectively kind of running a lot of what happens on farm or monitoring it from an app. I mean, this is like $1 trillion market, so you can sort of see that the fact that they've got a base in the US and Australia now, as well as New Zealand, that things are looking pretty good for them. You've had Icehouse, venture capital partners here, Blackbird, big ones in Australia, and now some big US interests sort of weighing in saying, yep, Series D, you're not public yet, you're not listed, but we're putting money in because we think you've got a bright future.
Yeah, incredibly bright future by that valuation, right? By the money that they're putting in.
Yeah.
Now, Fletchers is meeting with investors today, and there's a lot to discuss.
Yeah, an investor day is something you typically have when you've got something to say. I don't know if what we're going to hear is what people want to hear, which is who's interested in buying bits of your company. They announced a restructure last month and talked about how they want to take the Aussie business and basically split it up into bits that run from back here. This is wallboard and that kind of stuff on one side, and concrete and other things there. Some talk that their insulation business in Aussie might be on the block. And there's also a bit of talk from Australia that Vinci, which is a big French civil construction company, might be interested in buying Fletcher Construction. They are a bidder. They're one of the 3 bidders that was announced over the weekend to build the next section of the Northland Motorway. And they've already picked up some companies here that help them do that. So this is speculative highly, but maybe they'd be interested in picking that up. We may or may not hear that, but we may hear a little bit more about how they plan to sort of restructure the company and get a bit of value back and a bit of control there.
All right, and just finally, what's this talk about a $5 Kiwifruit? Sounds a little on the expensive. Not that I know what things cost, because we know I don't go shopping.
Well, if you want to give me $5 right now, you can have this if you want. But so no, we had our senior correspondent, Dileepa Fonseca, following the Prime Minister around China, and he made a stop in SKP, which is a department store, a mega department store in Beijing. And to give you an idea, it makes more money through the tills than Briscoe's and the Warehouse in this country combined in one store. And they run a whole bunch of very, very prestigious bits and pieces, and New Zealand's rep there is Kiwifruit. They have a Kiwifruit concierge, a lady who stands there and picks them out, will drop them off at your house, but they're selling them for about $5 a Kiwifruit. Now, this is about 60 cents in New World, so if you want to pay 5, go for it. But there was one CEO on the trip, apparently, who, apparently eats the skin as well.
Well, no, you meant to eat the skin. That's not actually uncommon. It's something like 80% of all the nutrients are in the skin. I made that number up, but it's something like that.
I may have to work on this.
Are you enjoying that?
Yeah.
Put it in a smoothie and you actually don't notice it. But no, it's true. Apparently a lot of the goodness is in the skin. We'll leave you to deal with that, Garth. Thank you. Garth Bray from BusinessDesk. Thanks to our partners 2 Degrees.